everybody, to WTL. You know that stands for Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, and I'm joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay
You got it. You got it.
and it is your time to shine. It is Super Bowl week.
Yes.
So many different prop bets, so many different eyeballs on this game. I got some really fun stats that we can run down to just about the game and the spectacle that it's turned into just from that point.
For sure.
You know, it's more than just a game now. It's a cultural event.
You can literally bet on any single thing you want to on this day. But yeah, I would love to get in some player props.
I mean, you always could bet on it. This time it's on the level. It's above the table, or however they say that.
It's legal.
And, of course, we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs are a 2-point dog, and that's where we want to put our focus on right now. Chiefs and some player props that have kind of caught our eye.
Yeah, Andy, and I want to start with the big man. I want to start with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
A couple of them that kind of contradict themselves in my mind, Andy.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes' total completions, a lot of people are saying under 25.5.
Yeah.
The under has hit 4 of his last 6 playoff games, but it kind of contradicts with Patrick Mahomes' total passing attempts, which everybody is on the over 36.5, Andy.
Is that people hedging, you think?
Just the over has hit in 8 of his 11 playoff games.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty crazy one that people are betting the under on the total completions and the over on the attempts.
What about the passing yards? 260.5.
Yeah.
That's a minus 115 bets, kind of a straight up type of deal there.
Yeah.
That's another one where that's been pretty consistent. He hasn't been smacking the over consistently.
No, Andy.
But if you're thinking the Super Bowl, he's going to start lighting it up. I mean, I don't know.
A lot of people are on the under with that one, Andy. It has hit 2 of the 3 Chiefs playoffs games this postseason. 49ers also have allowed 260 passing yards or less in 5 straight playoff games. So it's a little bit of a crazy one, but I think Mahomes can probably eke out the over on those passing yards, and I really like the passing attempts. I'll probably stay away from the completions just because I think he's probably going to have a good day and might be right around that 25-26 range.
Right.
But I think he is probably going to pass attempt probably around 40.
Yeah, probably. And if he does that, I think he's going to get – I really do think he's probably going to get over 260 yards.
Yes, I do too, Andy. With 40 attempts, Mahomes probably 260 yards. I like those 2 plays a lot on the over.
Yeah, I would rather double down, and if I win one, I'm going to win the other rather than hedge, kind of like how you open with the completions.
Yeah.
And the yards. What about his rushing yards?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about this. I'm looking at 26.5, kind of a consensus number there across a lot of books at a minus 125, minus 120. I've heard all sorts of different reasons here. Bottom line is he can get out and scramble, and in big moments in the second half, the fourth quarter, he gets those yards.
He extends plays like nobody else. That's why he's here, Andy.
Yeah.
You saw it even in this playoff, breaking his helmet, trying to get extra yards.
Yep.
The really big thing looking at here, 26.5, the over is hitting all 3 of Mahomes' Super Bowl appearances with his rushing yards. So I believe this is probably one of those locks that people are looking at as, a really, really good bet for them to throw either in a parlay or maybe just blow their whole wad on Patrick Mahomes running.
A lot of folks that I've been listening to and reading about that are skeptical of this number, they're saying, look, if the Chiefs are winning at the end of the game, he's going to kneel down. He's going to lose maybe 10, 15 yards on the last 3 plays of the game. Right there, you're contradicting yourself because the 49ers are picked to win. So what are you saying?
Yeah,
he's going to lose his rushing yards in victory formation?
No,
that's what do
you're nitpicking there, Andy. I really don't put too much stock into the kneeling. Yeah. People saying he's going to run back 15 yards and take a knee. When have you ever seen that? Not going to happen. Mahomes gets rid of the ball. That's what happens. I love the over. The last one I want to talk to you about Mahomes, Andy, is the total passing touchdowns over 1.5 at a minus 160. Over his hit in 7 of his last 9 playoff games. Kelsey's going to get in the end zone, and you have to think that one of these times he's going to get MVS or Rashid for a long one as well.
Okay.
I like the over.
You like the over? I think it's hard to argue the over on that. 2 touchdowns, that just sounds like a normal day of work for
normal day of work
Mahomes.
For the best player in the Super Bowl.
How about, do you want to go talk Travis Kelce, the tight end, or do you want to talk about Pacheco here?
Either one of them. I mean, we're kind of on Mahomes, so why don't we just shift to Kelce real quick
Okay,
and
all
end
right.
with Pacheco. A lot of people are just on him for over 6.5 receptions, Andy. It's at a -140 right now. The over has hit in 6 of Kelce's last 8 playoff games.
Yes, it has.
And as of late,
Yes, it
he has
has.
been the magnet for the ball in the air for the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to think this is going to hit, especially with all eyes on Kelce and Mahomes.
He averaged over 6 during the regular season.
Yeah.
Every game this season, he averaged over 6 receptions per game.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me it's the Super Bowl and they're going to look away from him?
Yeah.
And they're also breaking in new receivers because they've been rotating guys in and out trying to find receivers. The one constant has been Travis Kelce.
No doubt.
You know Mahomes is going to be going to him.
He's the
throughout.
man.
Yep.
He's the man. And then what the really big kicker here, Andy, with the plus money for Kelce right now, you can still get any time touchdown score is at a +100 on FanDuel and DraftKings still. Kelce has scored a touchdown in 8 of his last 9 playoff games. You
Yeah.
will not find a better statistic to go along with. He is going to get there in the red zone, and he is the big target. That's why, this plus money on this one, it's a good parlay piece for sure.
All right, Mr. Parlay Pounder, I got a little one for you here.
Let's go.
I'm looking at a plus 925. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes each scores a touchdown.
Ooh, I like it.
Plus
I do.
925.
I do. It just, when you get with that quarterback stuff, is it too far for Pacheco to get in?
Yeah.
Are they going to let Mahomes run it in? Is it going to be too far for Mahomes to run? I just don't like putting a lot of stock into quarterbacks scoring rushing touchdowns, but with that good of odds, Andy, put a $5 bill on it,
Yeah.
and take it to the bank. So I do like the bet. I just won't put a lot of money on it.
Okay. You got any other Kelce's, or you want to shift over to
Those
Pacheco?
are my 2 Kelce ones. I got some really good ones for Isaiah, though. So
All right, well, let's do it. There's a plenty of really good. I think there's some really good value bets here.
yes, I love Isaiah's lines here.
First touchdown scored at a plus 700. I don't know where you want to go with this one, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing all sorts of good ones.
Yeah, for sure. That plus 700, Andy, is definitely good value for as good a player as Isaiah is.
That's on DraftKings.
And if they get down to the 5-yard line inside, that is, that's pretty much a mortal lock on first and second down that he's getting the ball.
Yeah.
So I really like that one to sprinkle a little bit on. The one that I think is just a lock. Isaiah Pacheco, total rushing attempts over 15.5 is at a -130 right now in DraftKings. Pacheco has logged 24 rushing attempts in 2 of the last 3 playoff games,
Yeah.
Andy.
Yep.
He is going to get at least 16 attempts. This guy is the man. He runs nasty. They are going to give him the ball to try and speed this game up and get it over with. So I love that one. It's a lock for me.
I think the anytime touchdown at -110, -120. I think that's not a lock, but
It's really good.
I'd feel pretty good about that bet as well. I just think he's going to be getting the ball a lot. And
No doubt.
We've seen it from Coach Reed time and time again. He really likes to lean on his running backs.
Yeah.
And how I kind of view this game breaking down, I think they're going to start hot. And I think if they can just get a little lead, even if it's a 3-point lead,
Yeah.
they're going to be looking to that running back even more so.
No doubt, Andy. And they got to get that play action going anyway. So it's going to set up with Isaiah. Total rushing yards is a very, achievable line here at 65.5. That's also a -125 on DraftKings. Pacheco has gone over this number in all but one of his 6 career playoff games, Andy. I love the over here on 65.5 yards.
Yeah.
He's just going to get too many attempts to keep him under that.
Yeah.
One long shot that I do have for Isaiah, Andy, is an
shot.
alternate rushing yards at over 100 is at a plus 425, Andy.
Ooh, wow.
I just love the value on this
Okay.
play. The 49ers are allowing the most playoff rushing yards per game, 159,
Yes, they
entering
are.
the Super Bowl
Yep.
since the 1966 Green Bay Packers. So
Oh, the Packers.
they are giving up a lot of yards. Like I said, this is kind of a long shot bet, but to get this value at plus 425, I just think it's a good thing to put a little bit of money on, and if he has a huge game like we're thinking he might,
Okay.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So then you obviously like the total receiving and rushing yards at 85, 86.
Yeah, love it.
I'm seeing 86 in
Love
some
it.
books, 85
Love
and a
it.
half. That's at a -125 is at 85 and a half.
Yep.
You're thinking over. Easy over on that one.
I think it's an over. I don't too much like Isaiah Pacheco and his receiving capability possibilities because they'll slide in Clyde in there and
Sure.
give him a couple snaps or whatever. But anything in Pacheco, you're gonna not be able to talk me off the ledge on because I really like Isaiah in this game. I would be very skeptical if we didn't talk about Rashid Rice. He's the number one receiver,
right.
Andy.
Okay, yeah, he is.
I don't.
He's emerged.
Yeah, his catches are right at the same as Travis Kelce. That's why I'm kind of staying away from it. Over 6.5, but the over has hit in 2 of the 3 playoff games this season.
What people remember the last 2 games.
He has been getting the ball a lot. I don't have enough trust in him to get 7 receptions and feel good about the bet. Total receiving yards under 66.5, I think, is a very good play. The under is hit in 2 of the 3 playoff games this season. I'm not saying that I hate Rashid Rice in the line. I'm just saying that I just think it's going to be a little bit more Isaiah Pacheco and Travis Kelce time. So I'm out on the Rashid lines this week.
Yeah, and I just listened to a guy make a huge case for Rice. I'm like, yeah, it all sounds good.
Yeah.
I know that's what he's done the last couple of games, but it's such a small body of work.
Yeah.
And like you just keep saying, this is the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes is going to want to go to who he's most comfortable with. And I know out of the receiving core that's been rotating names and bodies in and out, it's Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And Edwards-Helaire out of the backfield too. I like that. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, for sure. And if I was going to take a flyer on a receiver, Andy, real quick here, MVS total receiving yards is just at 19.5.
Okay.
And if you want to take a flyer on somebody that usually catches a ball, it's going to be longer than 20 yards. So it is kind of a little bit of candy dangling in front of you because they're saying he's probably not going to get a catch is what this line is referring to. So if you want to take a little gamble on MVS getting a catch, over 19.5 yards, I believe, is a very good play for that.
All righty. Well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, or hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.